Hey Soul Sparklers, it's all happening.
With a soul sparkle, soul sparkle. With a soul sparkle.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Soul Sparkle Living Show. I'm so excited to be back this week and joined by my sweet friend, Dionne Woods. Welcome to the show, Dionne.
Hello, Hayley. Thank you for having me on here. I am quite honored. And although we had a conversation not too long ago on my podcast, let's just make this a monthly thing, right?
I think here's what's so funny. Everyone that I've had so far, I mean, we've only done, 6 or 7 episodes. This is still very new. But I'm like, I feel like I could talk to you forever. Like,
Yeah.
we could have so many conversations. And I think what's so fun is that we have such a history, the two of us. You know, we've known each other for decades, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Kids. And it's been so cool to just like watch you grow into and create something so extraordinary that is such an
Thank you, Hayley.
expression of you, like the fullness of you, right? And I think
Thank you.
it's such a beautiful gift that you bring to not only to your clients, but also to the world, like this permission giving to be the fullest expression of yourself and your soul, which at the end of the day, isn't that what we're all here to do anyway?
It is, but it hasn't been like what it is now. You know, I've been, like you said, we've known each other for decades, but growing up in what I call a shadow of just anybody's shadow. Let me stay behind anybody from being, never let me be the center of attention, and having an older brother. And of course, that's how I know you, because I mean, if he had an opportunity to date Hayley Hines, that was so cool. Seventh grade, like, have you seen her? So I'm like, I'm fifth grade, and I'm like, who is this Hayley Hines girl? But you've always left such a beautiful impression on me, with me, and reconnecting in our adult years, at this stage in our life, it is a beautiful thing. But it's like, it's taken me a long time to get here and let my light shine the way that I do so brightly. And so much more intentional, and really being okay in the space that I'm in with who I am. That's taken a long time to get here.
And what a gift, though, that now you have created so many pathways for women to do that, right? And don't you just wish, like, if we could tell our, fifth and seventh grade selves, like, you should just do it now. Just start now, right? And I think the
Yeah.
more I actually feel like more and more younger people, younger than us, have started that path a little sooner than we allowed ourselves to. Do you feel that as well?
I do. I think the exposure of social media has allowed them to connect with people across the world if they choose to. And I think with that expansion, that they see more possibilities, where when I was that age, it was right here in Oklahoma City, which, yes, I've never lived anywhere else, but it's like, this is our life right here in this family. And now we have friends all over the world. And I mean, true friends, people that we would
Right.
just show up for no matter what. And you're able to do that when you're open. And even though it's a screen, if you're open to that type of connection and receiving whatever they have, the words that they have, the time that they have, and also being able to give that, I think the children younger, like, they're able to do that sooner because they see what's possible, maybe. Does that make sense?
Exactly. And I actually think too that in a way, culturally, society, etc., has given more space for creativity, I guess, instead
Mhm.
of being like, you've got to do this and you have to do this. And there's a certain track or path or expectation. And I think
Yeah.
there's more freedom outside of the traditional normal path.
I do too. I think that creativity has become back up to the front of the game. I think we finally got the idea that we've become so far away from creativity, and because it wasn't a money-making thing, that what we're finding now is that, oh yeah, it is a money-making thing because of the internet, because of technology. And we also realize at the core of our well-being and our wholeness and our mental wellness, we have to lead with creativity. And that's my mission. That's where I've set foot in every single day, making steps towards pulling out that creativity that's innately part of who we are. And starting with any age, any person, no matter what, just where is that and how do we uncover it? Because it's there.
Yeah. And I think the beauty of your work is there's so many avenues. Like from a workshop to a retreat, like you just got back from a retreat and,
Yeah.
being able to immerse yourself in that opportunity to just go for it. And I think so many people are afraid because I will say a lot of us haven't been, I'm doing air quotes for those that are just listening, like creative in our creative since art class or like years and years and years have gone by. And maybe we have this like inner artist, but we're afraid that we might mess it up or it might not be.
Oh my gosh. You know how we get identified? Like, I don't know what you were in your friend group, but we get identified as, oh, she's the one that does this. And if you're not the art person or the creative person, you just kind of put it aside unless it's something that was really nurtured in your home and it was nurtured in your family. Like, this is just what we do when we get together. And there is an element of that to my home. But also, I was not the creative one or the art one or the talented or the one that draws, right? You get these labels. And, my brother was the funny one and I was the sweet one.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what we were doing. So it's like, I'm the sweet one. So no matter what, always be sweet. Well, you know what that happens? There, I don't stand up for myself very well, right? I don't. And when I try to be funny, it's like, I feel like a fraud because I'm like, right? So these labels, when in essence, our essence, we're so much more than the little label that we were given in fifth and seventh grade.
Because you can be all the things, all of it.
We could be all of it, absolutely all of it. And so at this retreat that I just got back from, Hayley, I know you do this type of thing where you get the women around in a circle. And we're looking up to the sun and we're just receiving and we're releasing stress and anxiety and we're pulling in the gratitude and we're just bringing in the goodness and we're opening up our hearts and we're opening it, we're expanding. We're kind of like in our peacock era, right? We're like, whether you're there, let's get in our peacock era. And so we're just spreading our wings and we're supporting each other. And, a woman steps up and she tells about a secret that she has held 20 years. And it's not that it's a secret that hurts anybody else. It's just something that she couldn't figure out why it was a secret.
Yeah.
Right. And she tells us on day 2. Right. And then and another lady comes in and says, I've lost my spark. I know I'm going to get it because I've watched online. I see how these things work and I need you guys. I didn't know how bad I needed you. And then after 24 hours, she's like, girl, I'm like 95% sparkling right now.
Yep.
And I'm like, yes, and then we're stomping and we're cheering and we're doing something that you can't find somewhere else, right? Like you can't find it when you turn the corner. And so you just have to create it. You have to create these experiences, the transformational times for people to immerse themselves. And so when they say, you're changing my life, I'm like, oh, you're changing mine. We're changing each other's. And so one of the things I tell them when they leave is that just remember this experience was for all of us because the fact that you were brave enough and vulnerable enough to share your stories, you've changed my life by sharing your story with me. You've changed my life. You've given me such a great gift because when I need strength, what am I going to do? Hayley, I'm going to pull from your stories. I'm going to pull from the strength. I'm going to pull the endurance from what you've gone through. And you couldn't give me a better gift, right?
It's so beautiful. And I think what's also so lovely about for those of us that create those containers, right? Like
Mhm.
you've created, we are, I always think like divinely inspired, right? So God gives us this intuitive, like, oh my gosh, wouldn't it be so great if we could, whatever the thing, whatever the vision is. And just by honoring that calling and creating that experience, you become such a blessing to all of those that feel called to be in that space. Almost like,
Mhm.
what is that analogy where you put the rock in the water, the pebble in the water, and it like creates these ripples? You doing your thing and your magic, you allow other women to come, and then from that, they create their own ripples and so on and so on. It's just such a beautiful experience to see what happens when we listen to our calling and answer it, and how others are so affected and impacted, and how they go out and then change their little community or their world.
Absolutely. And what if they hadn't put the rock in the water? Like,
Right.
what if you
Right.
didn't do it? Like, what if you didn't do it? Then all of the experience that happened, the spark and the sparkle that you help people find, it wouldn't be there. Or it might be there, but it may take a while. It may take a turn and go a different way. And that's really personally, I mean, just to be honest, when I'm struggling with something that I know I need to do, because like you said, God's given me some sort of divine idea and set, answering my prayers by what do you want me to do next? Where do you want me to go? Please shine the light right here. I'm over here and I'm over here and I'm over here and I don't really know. So when I very well see that light, it is my obligation and my responsibility to go forward, knowing that I don't have to do it alone. Other people are waiting on me to drop the rock in the water or to create the ripple because they got work to do. They've got a life to live. They've got experiences to have.
And people to impact and people to serve. Yeah, and I have one right now that I'm like, "Oh, okay, I gotta it's time. It's happening." And I'm sitting with it, and my
Mm,
friend's like, "You gotta like, the world needs this now." I'm like, I know, it's coming." So, I get it. It's just that moment of, like, vulnerability, though, that it takes, because it is a brave path. This is not the creative path, the path of service, the path of serving for the light, really, is what it is. It's not an easy one, but it is
right.
a probably the most fulfilling thing that I could ever imagine doing. Like you said, having those women in a circle, watching them transform before your eyes is truly the most remarkable thing I've ever done. The pre and the
Yeah.
you see them before and you see the after. It's extraordinary. And it's not for the faint of heart, and it's not for those that aren't willing to be brave, because it does take bravery to put yourself
Well,
out there, if you will.
put themselves out there, and that's why you can't you don't really take credit for them showing up because they had to decide, "I'm gonna go do this. I'm gonna buy the ticket or fly the plane, fly. I'm gonna readjust my entire schedule to come to this event and make myself a priority." Even if it's an online event, you still have to give yourself the headspace and have the rest of your life over here organized and say, "I am going to do this." And so they still show up, they're the ones that get the credit for making themselves a priority. And man, I just leave so inspired. I'm like, I'm thinking about my family that went before me and my mom and my grandmothers, my great grandmothers. And I'm thinking, they look at this and think, what? They're going to let me feel sorry for myself because something didn't work, or I didn't sell as many tickets as I thought, or I can't figure out how to work this fancy lit up microphone that I thought was so cute. I didn't know it was going to light up.
So cute. I love it.
Yeah, I don't even know what that's about. But I'm gonna complain because I can't figure out how to connect it and click the right button. No, I'm not, because I have to remind myself every day what a gift and that I am honoring the women before me and my family by showing up. That's what I'm doing. I'm showing up and living my life to the fullest most of the time, obviously. But again, turning back around and then saying, how can I help? How
Yeah.
can I help you? And you're right. I can't think of anything more rewarding than
Yeah, it's so beautiful. One thing I love about your journey, and I'd love for you to share a little bit about how, because you do honor your relationship so much in your work. And I love how you have been so supported by your sweet husband. And I
Mhm,
think that
mhm.
that's a really underappreciated for a lot of people. Like, a lot of women aren't supported in that way, or there's just I don't know, there's not the respect that I have always seen you when you speak about him and the way that he shows up for you. I think it's so beautiful. And I know that it may not have been always easy or always been that way, but I feel like you have created such a beautiful collaboration and partnership. I'd love to dive into a little bit about that conversation, because I feel like there could be a little bit of a story there.
Absolutely. There's a story. We've been married 27 years.
Wow.
And our oldest is going to be 24 next week. And we've been dating since I was a senior in high school. So we grew up together. You know what I mean? We grew up together. And our families knew each other. And with that being said, I worked part-time while we were raising our children, and about the time Holden, who's my youngest at 5 years old, that creative juice that I had, like, smothered, so I could just do the things, pay the bills, be the mom, all the things was, like, bubbling up inside, like, I gotta create, I gotta create. I mean, I had a job, and instead of doing what I was supposed to be doing, I was trying to rearrange the room. I was like moving the furniture and like, this would look better with the lighting. And if you move this over here, it would flow a little better. And they're like, man, we're just an office. You know what I mean? We're just an office. And I'm like, okay, well, so I'm doing like, lots of odds and end jobs. And then I started an Etsy store in 2010. And nobody around here knew what an Etsy store is. They kept trying to correct me. And you mean eBay? And I'm like, no, it's an E, but it is not. And I don't know if it's Etsy or Etsy. All I know is it's something and I'm going to sell my stuff that I'm making. Basically, my business became the Turquoise Iris in 2010. not because I wanted to, but girl, I am just discovering a way to pay bills so I could be at the ballpark with these little boys who want to play every sport out
Yeah.
there. And with that being said, when you start a business, there's this thing called social media that I wasn't on. I didn't want to be on Facebook. I didn't even
Yeah.
understand it. And to be honest with you, it was a conversation that did not set well with Matt. It was like, why would you be on it? Are you wanting to talk to your friends? It was like this whole jealousy, like this whole immature type of weird feeling of like, well, I'm not on it. Why would you be on it? And I'm like, well, I have a business and I have to create a business page. And in order, so there were a couple of years of like this tension, and I'm just trying to use a free platform to sell my work. I'm trying to make a blog and get Miss Mustard Seed to feature me. And I'm doing all of this. And so the support you're talking about showed up slowly. And it showed up not because he didn't want me painting, not because he didn't want me picking up pieces of furniture off of the road and painting them and spending it on supplies and going around antique stores. We would all be together. We would be looking for things that mom's going to buy and flip. But it was more the contact with social media and kind of like our value system isn't here. As a value, as a family, we've decided social media wasn't going to be something we were going to do. And you're going back against this. So I'll say that. I remember it being very tense. But as I fast forward and I share everything with him, I talk about the people I meet, the conversations I've had, the connections, and he listens, or at least he acted like he was listening. But I am not going to lie. I don't think I am not sure to the level of the support I have from him right now would be what it is if I didn't start showing the money. Like,
Yeah.
I can do this. Trust me. And I would say, trust me. Like, you've worked so hard as an electrician for 20 years. And I came to him and I said, for the next 20, let me try. Like,
Yeah.
our value system is our home and our kids first, right? And so if you'll let me, let's see what I can do. And he's like, go for it, because I had already shown my work ethic. He knew how talented I was. He knew that we could buy a home and flip it and make money off of it and like he knew there was things that I would do. Like I would cut tile. I mean, I tiled the backsplash. I tiled our fireplace. I mean, I could paint, I could get up on scaffolding and paint our ceilings on a 20-foot ceiling entryway of a house we built. Like I could do all of those things. So he bought into like, she'll do what she has to do. That's what she'll do. This is why I love her. She'll do what she has to do. So as we've moved forward and I would come to him and say, do you think you could do this? And he'd say, no. And then I'd come back and go, do you think it's time that you could do this? No, I really need you to do this. Okay. So seeing the need that he actually could help, part of it has been that I wanted him to be seen by all of everybody else the way I know and love him, because he's amazing. He's a rock. He's patient. He's a better parent than I am because he's so patient with the boys. Like I wanted everybody to see what I know and love and expose him as this person where now he goes to retreats with me and he's taking video and he's editing. He's doing a documentary for me right now. He walks in and people are like, more Matt, because that's his hashtag. People gave him a hashtag called more Matt. Like now they get to see the guy that I'm in love with and how he also adds so much to the Turquoise Iris. Like he is the foundation of everything we've built. I could not do this without him.
Right.
And I give him full credit for it because it wasn't easy, but we're working on year 16 now. And he has seen that he has value. He has seen this, what women do that men don't. He sees it as a witness and now he can only take so much. And then he's going to jump on the golf cart and get out of here. He's going to go cruise, he's going to go get a burger. He's going to go down, whatever. But he shows up and he shows respect. And in turn, they just absolutely adore him. And other than that, I just thank God every single day
Yeah.
for
Ugh.
the love of my life.
It's so beautiful because I think there's such a sweetness in the both and. Like it's not just your show. It requires the structure and the stability of the masculine so the feminine can be so creative. At least in
Mhm.
my experience, what I've
Mhm.
realized is that when I am somewhat tethered, now don't like put my feet all the way on the ground because that's boring, right? But like hold me by the ankles and let me just kind of flitter, hold me tight enough to where I know that I'm cared for and I'm grounded without, having to sacrifice the creativity and the flow and the feminine expression, which is the creation, right? Like that's really
Absolutely.
part of it. Why I feel it's so important for us to be in some kind of collaboration with the masculine. It's either in relationship or partnerships or some kind of opportunity to partner in that way because when we are combined, when we bring those gifts together, right, and have the freedom of expression and support,
Mhm.
there's nothing we can't do. It's extraordinary.
No, it really is, and the one of my last art series, I titled it Love Story.
Yeah, I saw that one.
Did you see it? And I of course, I gave it I said, "He's the influence behind this, not because these are his favorite colors, because they were neon pinks and oranges and whites and yellows and lavender, but because while I was creating it, whether it sells, whether someone loves it or not, it doesn't matter. I mean, I want it to, but it wasn't the reason behind it. I know that with his rock solid love, I can create freely. I can express. I can almost get in this primal state of like abstract expressionism and just whatever color I feel called to, I can always go there because at the end of the day, I'm going to sit down at the dinner table and I'm going to tell him about my day and it's solid.
Yeah.
So
So so great. Like you really are, especially with the work that you do, right?
thank you.
And even for women that aren't necessarily in their artistic expression every day or in their form of expression, it could look very differently. Yours is such an embodiment of the contrast, between the masculine and feminine, the creative and
Mhm.
everything. And I think
Yeah.
it's so cool the way you have included him, which I feel is incredibly important, the communication and just the honoring, and the revelation that we're not meant to do life alone. Like we're not meant to do it on our own. And you have created a beautiful partnership with him and included him in his strength and his gifts as
Yeah.
well.
And I
Which
want those to shine. He will make jokes when we're at an event or some husband, a husband will come and something and he'll say, "Well, I'm starting a man club." This is what he says. "I'm starting a man club, but the number one rule about this man club is that we can't talk about the man club, but you're in it." Just totally silly. But he has said, "Men don't do this, Dion. Like most men don't do this in his world." And this is so one, it's fun for him to see me and my element. And that's important for partners, of any partners, to see each other each other's element. So for a partner to see them when they're whatever their work is, I mean, even when Matt was still wiring houses, I would bring the boys and bring him lunch or bring him a drink and just see what he was wiring in a home. And I would just stand back and go, "You're like a genius." He's like, "What are you talking about? Anybody can do this." And I'm like, "No, no, I don't see that. I see that you are making this whole house light up and you understand the mapping and the wires. And I want the boys to see him, working and the things that he's capable of doing for that type of respect." So I always encourage partners of any kind to see each other and witness it in their element. Because it's fascinating when you see, for example, let's say you're a school teacher and your husband never comes to see you in the classroom. Like it changes something when your partner walks in and sees you in the classroom.
And seeing you shine,
Hmm.
it's a beautiful thing to
Hmm.
witness, I think.
Yeah.
In greatness, in your brilliance, in your gifts, right?
Yeah.
Shine time, even if it's just for a moment.
Absolutely. Thank you for saying all those nice words. I appreciate that. It is a topic that's not discussed very much, but I've always said, I don't do this alone, and I don't actually want to do it alone.
No, well, yeah. I think we have been taught, at least some generations have been taught that we can bring home the bacon, fry it up in the pan, do all the things, right? Like that was the deal. And the truth is, we're not designed to do it all. And we do need each other,
Yeah, we
whether
do.
it be one partner or a village or whatever it looks like.
Whatever.
However it shows up in your life, we need people. And I think it's beautiful also the honoring of the masculine, because I think there's a lot of conversations that are so dishonoring and
Mhm.
discouraging.
Yeah.
And so I think it's beautiful that you bring that forward in your work and in your communication and the way that you do honor him. I think it's
Well,
beautiful.
thank you. If I did it any other way, it wouldn't be honest and it wouldn't be real. And I can't be any other way. I can just be this, I can just be this.
Yeah.
Me.
And we love you for that.
Thank you.
That's what this is about. So can we talk about your magazine for a minute? Because, I'm obsessed with it.
Girl, yes, girl. Did you get the latest volume?
I think so, yeah.
It's the one with me in the back of the truck with the drone overhead.
I love that picture, by the way.
Thank you. Thanks to my daughter-in-law who took it.
Really? That's so cool. And you just celebrated your 5-year anniversary. Is that
Oh,
right?
it's coming up. Well, yes, I've celebrated the 5-year anniversary of launching it in August, but the volume comes out next month. That's actually the celebrate volume with the, 5-year cover on it. And so we did 2 years of digital, and that was great. Like, just amazing. But then people want, I want paper, I want paper, I want paper. And I'm like, okay, well, let's do paper. So we've just figured it out with the whole mindset that, the Marie Forleo of everything is figure outable because it just, but I don't know what I'm doing. I don't. And then some days I'm still like, I have to pick a new printer and I have to pick new paper. Do you know how long it took me to pick new paper? 2 months.
Yeah. Well, it's a big deal.
It's a big deal. It's a big deal. But what if I get it wrong, Haley?
I know. Well, then you pick different paper. That's what you do.
You just pick different paper. It wasn't, but what if we lose subscribers? Like there's all these decisions that go along with it. But again, the why has never changed. The why is to give another platform for creative people to have a voice. So the podcast, we get to hear them. We get to hear their fluctuation, their voice and their passion. And then we read it in the magazine, right? We read it and we see the visuals. So it's just kind of like encompassing the whole creative person through the media.
Which is so great. And you've inspired me, obviously,
Thank you.
in a lot of ways, and specifically around the idea of print. Because I think what's, at least for me, and I think you get this vibe, is that the more that we move into a world of even more technology, as if we haven't already been there, but more automation, more digital, more online, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. The more I really want to like kick and scream and go super old school. Like I want to write letters. I want to have everything printed. I'm like, no, I want to make sourdough bread and I want to live in the woods and I want to, like such a nerd.
I'm not conforming. I am not going to do this AI thing. And yet we do it. And it's like, oh, this is so much easier.
And then I think, well, how do we create a hybrid
Yeah.
of
Yeah.
of both and,
And the
right?
importance, both and yes.
Doing. And I think that's where, for me, the vision for my magazine that you've inspired is, Soul Sparkle Living to me is that it can be both and like almost this like elegant simplicity, not crazy, not complicated, but just beautiful and lovely and creative and elegant. And so I'm really excited because that's actually going to be happening this quarter.
I was going to say, tell me more about tell me more of what's happening and what's moving forward.
Well, so right now I'm in the process of, by your recommendations, just really sorting out what the vibe is. What does it look like? What does it feel like? And for me, to be honest, it's really all the things that I love, right? So it's travel, it's lifestyle, it's personal development, it's spiritual growth, it's community, it's connection, it's all the things, food, fabulous cuisine, culture, stories about people that are doing incredible things, because I'm always inspired by that. So yeah, that's going to be happening. So my 10-year business anniversary of Soul Sparkle. We've been sparkling for 10 years. My mom,
Congrats.
you've been sparkling your whole life.
Oh, thanks, Mom.
So we're celebrating 10 years. And so the goal and vision is that that will be part of that celebration and be able to bring that to life, which is really
Yeah.
exciting because I think, we're able to connect with people through the stories of our lives,
Mm,
And I think when we share
everything.
our stories, we create connection and deepen relationship and all of the things that really matter. And so it will be lovely not only to share, some of my travel stories. So for example, what I
Yeah.
share in your magazine, that
Yeah.
kind of idea where I can almost like take readers on those adventures with me if they can't be with me in real life. I want to share the places that I've been and the people that I've met and the incredible cuisine and the culture that's local to wherever the location is.
Mm,
And the imagery, I'm a huge fan of the photos and you do such a beautiful job with your photos. I'm so inspired by trying to
thank
learn
you.
how to take better pictures. So I'm going to try to do that.
Well, thank you. It's all I've ever done though. I've never had a store. I could, if I was going to sell something, I just had to take a really good picture, right? And a bunch of them. So it's just come, it's come slowly and it's just come from a lot of repetition. So that's all I've ever done is sold my work online. So you have to get good at photos, right?
I know. I know. So I'm working on it. So anyway,
You got it. You got it.
exciting. I'll keep you posted for sure. And for anyone that's listening,
Yeah.
wants to be on the bus of the Soul Sparkle Living magazine
Yes.
June because it's gonna be coming, and I can't wait for you to
Oh, exciting.
guest in that.
I hope so. And then also, if there's anything I can do to help, you just have to reach out. It is a different animal as far as print, but it's doable. And there is so many of us, just like you and I, who want that magazine in our hands, who want to flip the pages. And I mean, it's why we read a book. It's why we watch a movie. It's why we want to go. We want to go and be
Really
there and just experience.
experience it, and I think that's a beautiful thing that you do in your magazine, and by the way, we'll make sure that for those that are listening that want to subscribe to the Turquoise Iris Journal, pop the link here
Thank you.
if you want.
Thanks.
And, it's always a pleasure, to be with you and so fun. Just our life story is always super, super sweet. Tell your brother hello,
Absolutely.
and can't wait to hopefully probably I'm feeling like we might need to do more of these episodes. Like I said before we started recording, like, every time I get on these calls, just like, "Can we just keep talking for however long we have?" But in essence of time, again, thank you so much for being here.
Oh my gosh, thank you for asking me. And yeah, I'd be love to come back sometime. I'm excited to be on this journey and watching you. Like I said the first time I reached out to you, it's been like a year and a half maybe ago, where I'm like, I've been on your mailing list for years, and there was something that just dropped in my inbox where I went, I need to connect with you. That the kind of things we talked about haven't necessarily moved in that direction yet, but
It's
being here, being here and being at this phase of our life together too, and just kind of watching the magic develop, and having you as a friend, and I as your friend, that's not just by chance.
not even a little bit.
Absolutely. Thank you so much.
Yes. And thank you all for listening today. And we can't wait to have you on the next episode.
Absolutely. Thanks.
So
You.
sparkle, so sparkle. With a soul sparkle.